So this live is going to be quick because I already had posted a video today about this. I went on my Instagram story and just decided to do just a yap because I was walking my dog today, a continuation of just this walking challenge. And I kind of made it my artist way date 2.0. And I was looking around, looking at nature, and I was just like, man, I'm really alive right now. I'm really alive. And the more that I kept thinking about my existence, the stranger it got. Like, dang, I'm really alive, breathing, walking a dog, looking at the trees, looking at a squirrel climb a tree, looking at cars, looking at buildings, etc., etc. And it's just being able to witness and feel your existence in that moment is strange yet beautiful. Strange because it's like, dang, I'm really here on this earth, like a human being for real. But it's also beautiful because you can experience this life the way that you want it and the way that you see fit. And I wanted to talk more about it. And in that video, I also talked about my spiritual experience and how I do believe in God and how I do believe, in the universe, whatever you want to call it. I call it different things: God, universe, my ancestors. I feel like it's all one. It's all a connection. And I do believe that God is within you. God is not an external thing outside of you, or sorry, I should say external spirit outside of you. God is a spirit within you. And I explained, I'll just say it like this. For the longest time, and still a little bit now, when it comes to religion, spirituality, etc., I've been on the fence about it heavily because I would listen to other people tell me who God is, listen to people explain the Bible to me, and just talk about their own spiritual experiences, which is cool, everybody has their spiritual experiences with God, the universe, etc., including myself. And throughout the years, throughout my spiritual journey and trying to figure out what resonates with me, I've dabbled and dabbled in different things when it comes to my spiritual journey. And I wouldn't be consistent with it. I would be off and on with it. And in that video, I was talking about nourishing your mind, body, and spirit, and how I've only been on autopilot for so long that I haven't been able to consistently nourish my spirit, nourish my body, nourish my mind. I've gotten better at going on walks every day and exercising and things like that. So it's a little bit nourishing my body, but the nourishing my spirit and nourishing my mind, it's like this. It's off and on. And it's something that I want to get better at because I felt the most aligned in 2020 when I was meditating more, when I was really taking my spiritual practices seriously. And I felt as if I had a deeper, better connection with God when I was going about spirituality my own way and not following a religion or following a church. And don't get me wrong, community, the church, it's, to me, this is my own opinion. I think that it is a great tool to connect with like-minded people, but I don't think it's necessary in order to have a strong relationship with God. And what got me thinking about this is the fact that I was just walking in nature and just observing it and just like, dang, wow, I'm really alive. And then it became this whole spiritual experience. And I realized that my one-on-one relationship with God is off and on, off and on, off and on, off and on, because I'm on autopilot all the time and I'm not treating my life intentionally because I'm worried about this external stuff. And I remember growing up that I would, whenever I'd fall into temptation, and a little backstory, my dad is a pastor's kid, grew up in the church, knows how to play a bunch of instruments. His siblings grew up in the church with him too, going to church all day, every day, because, his dad's a pastor. And with that being his upbringing, we would also go to the church. We would go to different churches, see what fits for us, or whatever. Go to a white church, go to a black church, see what fits, etc., etc. Do the thing on Sunday, worship, praise God, etc. You know, um, and I would be so heavily in it. I distinctly remember that I was praying for my teachers when I was a kid, just praying for my teachers. Uh, don't know why. I mean, your home definitely influenced what you do. Especially as a kid, you're more susceptible to being influenced by religion in the household because that's all you know and it's what you see. And I also remember, like, when I would do something bad or I wouldn't listen to my parents or whatever, I would always blame it on the devil. I'd be like, oh, the devil made me do it. It's Satan. He did it. Da, 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 da. Just blame, blame, blame. And looking back on that, I kind of laugh. I'm not, I don't consider myself a religious person anymore. I don't prescribe to Christianity specifically. I don't prescribe to the religion. What matters to me most is my one-on-one relationship with God and my personal walk and experience with God. That's what matters to me most. I don't care about the label. I don't care about, oh, I'm Christian and da da da. I don't care about that at all. Don't care. So that's why I don't claim the Christian label. What I do care about is my personal one-on-one relationship with spirit. And I want to get back to that and take it more seriously and be more intentional about it. But back to my original point of blaming the devil when I was younger for my mistakes, for my bad habits, for me not listening, and et cetera, et cetera. So as I got older, I realized that as I got older, I was wondering why I was following this religion when I didn't fully resonate with it. So I completely dropped it, and by that time, I just stopped going to church altogether. And then, I would look on TikTok, which I no longer have. I deleted it way back in December. TikTok, YouTube, about, listening to other people's spiritual experiences, listening to their relationship with God. Some people still going to church. Some people exiting the church and going on their own walk themselves, or some people who have exited the church but went back. And some people would be speaking from what we call church hurt, which is when, the church hurts you and blah, 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 and other people hurt you and yada, yada, and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore and be religious, blah, blah, blah. That personally was not my experience. I didn't really have church hurt. Not really. I just stopped going. And I realized that I didn't need a church in order to have a relationship with God. um, and in 2020, when I started meditating, when I started praying and just learning more about Buddhism and African spirituality and different religions, including Christianity, I came to the conclusion that at the end of the day, God will use whatever medium he sees fit for you that will allow you to have a better connection, a better relationship with God. I'm trying to stop using he and him because I don't he him his because I think that God should be clarified as God, and I don't think that God needs to have pronouns. Um, Even though I know, like in the Bible, it says he, him, etc., Yahweh, Yeshua, etc. Even though those aren't pronouns, those are Yahweh, Yeshua, those are names. But I think that, you know, God is a spirit. And from my understanding, I think that using he, him, his is just a way for our human brains to understand and absorb it better. Um, so yeah, that's why I'm trying to do better with just saying God. um, but even with oh yeah, I never wrapped up the devil point. So in 2020, praying, meditating, or whatever, um, I saw my connection with God, spirit, universe, etc., getting stronger. And I felt more aligned and felt more content. And even with my exploration into different religions or philosophies, I just learned a bunch of stuff. Like some people connect with to God through tarot. Um, no matter how you feel about it, it doesn't matter. Take your feelings out of it. I'm just speaking on what I have, researched. So some people connect to spirit, God, universe through tarot, through different types of divinations, bone readings, astrology, et cetera, whatever that may be, whatever that works for them. And I think that God leads those people who do tarot, astrology, etc. That is specifically their walk and specifically for them to talk to God. I don't think that God would how do I let me think. So this was just my perspective and understanding and my opinion. But I think that when you ask God, like, I want to have a stronger relationship with you. I want to um, seek your wisdom, seek your presence, show me how good it can get, show me who you are, etc., etc. God will use the things that you are already interested in or curious about in order to build a one-on-one relationship with God. And I think that God will use what's around you, whether that's a person, place, thing, medium, to cultivate, to plant that seed in talking to God more and talking to and just building a relationship basically. Dang, I never got to my devil point. I'll make that part quick because I keep adding little tangents here and there. But what I want to say is this. So 2020, when I was getting really intentional and deep in my spiritual journey and my relationship with God, I stopped blaming the devil for my temptations and for my bad habits and got more honest with myself through God about the things that I wasn't doing, because at the end of the day, it was me. It wasn't this external, oh, it's Satan, the devil, Satan's making me do this, and this. Like, no, 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 no. Let's look at yourself. Let's really look deep here. Let's look real deep. Is it Satan or is it just you? You know? Is it just you doing these things? And you can say, like, the world is tempting, the world has temptations, da da da, blah blah blah. But I think that at the end of the day, when it comes to being tempted by alcohol, addiction, drugs, or like doom scrolling, being addicted to social media, being addicted to XYZ, we have to take responsibility for it, because the more that we blame an external source, in this case, Satan, the devil, the more we'll continue to do those bad habits. Because at the end of the day, taking accountability for your actions and not blaming it on some external source, again, in this case, devil, Satan, then you'll begin to change your ways through God. I think that many of us want something to blame in order to continue to do those bad habits. Even blaming God, like, oh, God, why did you do X, Y, and Z? I thought my life would be better. Why? This is your fault. This is da 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 da. But again, I think that can also be true for the flip side, because although we can't control like our environment and how we grew up and who we're born, what family we're born into, and yada blah, whether you're blaming Satan or blaming God, at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility to live a better life and be intentional with how you're feeding your mind, body, and spirit. Like, yes, your environment may be crappy, and yes, your environment may be awful, but at the end of the day, there's got to be some way out, you know? As they say, God makes a way out of no way, you know? Is that all I wanted to say about blaming? In short, for me, when I stopped blaming the devil, Satan, for my temptations and for the bad habits that I would hold on to, that's when life became more. Okay. Is it still going or did it stop? Okay. That's when life became more honest for me. That's when I started to take a lot of things more seriously. That's when I started to take accountability. I stopped blaming stuff and and essentially looking at it under a magnifying glass and being like, okay, what can I do to mitigate this bad habit? What small steps, even though simple but not easy, can I take to really lessen these bad habits so that I can move better in my life and move how do I want to say that? For some reason, I want to say move towards God more and more, but just essentially just having a stronger relationship with God. And yeah, I no longer blame the devil for my shortcomings, my temptations, and my bad habits. I just don't do that anymore. I am taking accountability for my own actions and for the things that I do and say. And so for me, I again really want to take this spiritual journey seriously. I want to start taking care of myself and taking that seriously too. Exercising, drinking water, eating better. I want to feed, I want to enrich my mind. I want to read more, whether that's for pleasure, like reading fictional books or reading factual books to learn stuff. I want to challenge my brain and play different games like Sudoku, chess. Um, and I just want to be well rounded spiritually, mentally, physically, you know, all three and not just in one area, because I believe that if I'm just okay in one area and not okay in all three areas, then the rest will falter and I'm not going to be balanced. And I want to be balanced. I don't want to have a shaky nervous system anymore. I've always felt internally anxious all my life. You know, the ADHD, the tism, but still I want to have control of how I show up, and I don't want to move frantically when something's going wrong. I don't want to move in a way where I can't control how I feel. I just don't want to be on autopilot anymore. So I think that nourishing my spirit and nourishing the relationship that I have with God and watering that like any other real, I was gonna say real life, any other like physical relationship, like a person in front of you, it's important to water those relationships and take those seriously and be intentional about it. So I feel as if I'm intentional about how I treat my body, and I'm intentional about my spiritual practices, and I'm intentional about how I feed my mind or what I feed my mind, and just taking care of the environment that I'm in and making sure that it feels calm and it feels like a safe space and it's not energetically chaotic. Because right now it is energetically chaotic. It's a hot mess right now. Y'all just can't see it. Um, then I believe that I will start to slowly but surely move in a more calm, steadfast way, and move in a way that is secure, move in a way that is confident, move in a way that is very grounding. I want to feel grounded again, like I did in 2020. And I often have the mindset of, I've been there, done that. I did the meditating, I did the praying, I did the XYZ. Like, it worked or whatever, but I don't think I can go back to it because I've been there, done that. It is what it is. Let's try something different. But instead of having that mindset this time, I like I said, I really want to take it seriously and actually like do it. And being able to do the artist way, since it is a spiritual path to creativity and a spiritual path to God and working with the creator, as Julia Cameron says in the book. I think it's a great start for me to start taking my spiritual practices seriously, along with my physical and my mental. So yeah, that's just the more in-depth version of that video. I'll link it in the description so you can reference it and see what I mean. But yeah, it's something I truly have been wanting to take seriously. I've been thinking about it for a very long time, but haven't been committing to it. Um, So yeah, and this is my first like philosophical or religious talk or spiritual talk video. And philosophy, spirituality, quantum physics, manifestation, all those things are things that interest me. It interests me a lot. I have a lot of I have a lot of interest. And I was thinking about bringing this topic to this channel later on. I wasn't thinking about bringing it this soon, but it just organically happened. So I guess I'm meant to talk about it, whether if anybody sees it or not. And there's a multitude of other things that I want to talk about too that I am, to be frank, afraid to bring up, mainly because I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but the things that I want to talk about aren't anything new, aren't anything game changing, aren't anything surprising. I think the topics that I want to talk about are controversial still because, you know, it's not the typical way of living. I'll say it like that. I'll leave it at that. But I'm gonna talk about those things though. I will. I will. I just didn't expect I would be talking about spirituality anytime soon. But here we are. It happened organically, so I guess I was meant to talk about it. Um, and again, I've experienced God in a multitude of ways. In a multitude of ways. It's just haven't. I haven't. I'll continue that sentence. I haven't fully made the decision to actually like commit to my spiritual practices until now, because I've been wanting to, but I one day I just took the time to just ask and be like, God, just show me who you are. I'm seeking. I'm knocking on the door. I know you'll answer. So, and I think this was one of those ways and days to go about it. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting walk, an interesting experience. It's gonna look different from everybody else's because everybody's spiritual journey looks different, and God uses everyone differently when it comes to experiencing Him. Here I go, using Him, the pronoun. It is what it is. But I still feel how I feel about the pronoun thing, you know. I still feel how I feel about it. Whether I use the word or not, it's all going to be interchangeable. I'll say God, I'll say universe, I'll say spirit, I'll say him, I'll say he. But at the end of the day, God is a spirit. God is a spirit in my eyes. And God lives within me. God is not an external thing, a person in the sky looking down. To me, again, all my opinions, all my beliefs, all my, and I truly do believe that God is within. If God had a place to live inside my body, it'd be here, the chest. But I believe that that's where God is supposed to be, in the chest area, in the heart. um, but yeah, this was an insightful talk. Honestly, this was quite insightful. I ain't even gonna lie. It was a unintentional way to notice the beauty of life and to have a firm and legit introduction into my mind, body, spirit journey. Don't know why I said it like that, but it is what it is. So yeah, this is my extended version of day 7's video. Still posting every day for 30 days. And I'm excited for day 8. Getting back to the artist way, because I kind of paused on it to make this impromptu video. But we'll get back to it on day 8 and continue reflecting on it and talking about it and things of that nature. But I'm Maria. I am committing myself to posting every day on YouTube, going live every day on YouTube for 30 days, while recommitting myself to the artist way and reflecting on the things that I learn as I work through the course, the 12-week course. So I will see you in day 8. You're doing a great job, girl, posting every day for 8 days. Like, you're doing an amazing job, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm excited for week 2. Tomorrow's the last day of week 1 of the artist way, and we're going to be entering week 2 on Monday. That is so exciting, and I'm so proud of you for just showing up and putting in the work. At the end of the day, this is going to be great for you. It's going to be amazing for you. You are going to flourish. You're going to do great things regardless of who's watching and who isn't watching. Who cares? Because at the end of the day, like, I am so proud of you. You're doing an amazing job. You're showing up. You showed up for 7 days. Tomorrow makes 8. You're doing so good. You even showed up when you didn't feel like it. Ah, I'm so proud of you. You're doing good. You're doing so good. Ah, if 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 ain't nobody gonna tell you that you're proud of you, tell yourself. And just talk to yourself and just let yourself know that you are doing a great job. Life may be chaotic and crazy right now, especially with the external stuff going on, but you're pushing through. You're doing amazing, you're doing great. You're making it work. You're thriving even though it may not feel like it. You're thriving. And again, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. Okay. Okay. I will see you in day 8. And day 8 will be the end of week 1. Yay! I'm gonna tear up, but we'll do it when the live is over. Oh man. All right. I will see you tomorrow on day 8.